Hi guys, this is another lesson on inferencing or making an inference. So hopefully you watched yesterday's lesson on making an inference, and this one is kind of like that one. There's a passage on your screen, and there's a question underneath the passage that you can't see yet. And the answer to the question, it isn't specifically stated right here in the passage, but we're going to use some of the details or the evidence from the passage to help us come up with an answer to the question. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just follow along with me, and I'm pretty sure you'll do a great job. If you don't remember, making an inference is kind of like coming up with something and then like maybe you don't know the answer, but you can use evidence to prove that you know the answer now. Hopefully that made sense. So I'm going to read this passage to you. If you could follow along with me, please. And then together we'll answer the question at the bottom that you cannot see yet. So your passage says this: The boy grumbled under his breath as he gathered up sticks and branches. His older brother reminded him to make sure that he only chose sticks and branches that were dry. When the boy asked him why they had to be dry, his brother replied that the fire would not grow and continue to burn if the sticks were wet. The boy threw a few sticks in the distance and then swatted at a mosquito that was buzzing near his face. Now, your question is, what was the setting of this story? So let's see if I can get this. So the author never came out and said where the boys were, right? Let's look at this again. Okay. The boy grumbled under his breath as he gathered up sticks and branches. Okay, so we know that they're gathering up sticks and branches. Where in the world would you be when you're gathering up sticks and branches? Think about that. Now, let's keep going. The second sentence says, his older brother reminded him to make sure that he only chose sticks and branches that were dry. When the boy asked him why they had to be dry, his brother replied that the fire would not grow and continue to burn if the sticks were wet. There's another clue. They're getting things ready to have a fire. So where do we typically have fires? If you've ever been sitting around maybe a bonfire, or you've ever maybe roasted marshmallows and made s'mores over a fire, where do you typically do that at? Let's go to the last sentence. It says, the boy threw a few sticks in the distance and then swatted at a mosquito that was buzzing near his face. So he swatted at a bug. Where are we most of the time when bugs are bothering us? So then let's go back to our question. What was the setting of the story? Well, first, what's the setting? I hope you remember that. The setting is, when and where the story takes place, or when and where something happens. So think about all of the information that we just learned in this little paragraph. In the setting of the story, well, Ms. Helton thinks that the setting of the story is somewhere outside. If I wanted to get more technical and make some assumptions or make some guesses, I would say that maybe they are around like a wooded area. Maybe they're around a lot of trees, because usually when there's a lot of trees, I feel like there are more bugs around. So maybe they're by trees. And I can just picture them walking around a big open space, picking up sticks and branches and throwing them into like a fire pit. That's just kind of what I picture in my head when I'm reading this little passage. And that helped me answer my question, what was the setting of the story? So if you just followed along with me and you guessed also that they were outside, then you're right. You made an inference. You discovered the answer to the question, which is what is the setting. And the author never even told us where the setting was, but we were able to use our brain and the evidence from the story to help us come up with that answer. So great job. You just made an inference. So now you're going to practice a little bit on your own with a short assignment.